Hello, callers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We start with this report claiming that Barcelona are set to lose 30 million euros following Champions League elimination. We are going to be discussing on that as we move ahead. Then, secondly, talking about Memphis Depay, as it has been reported that Barcelona are considering sanctioning exit for the out-of-favor forward after the World Cup. So guys, before we get right into those stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are very welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. For the second season in a row, Barcelona have crashed out of the UEFA Champions League in the group stages. The Catalans' elimination was confirmed when Inter Milan thrashed Victoria Pleasant 4-0 on Wednesday, ahead of Barca's clash against Bayern Munich. Having learned their fate, Barca put an unspirited display against the Bavarians and ended up eating a 3-0 defeat in front of 80,000 plus fans at Spotify Camp Nou. The back-to-back eliminations from the competition will be a major dent of pride of a big club like Barca. At the same time, the financial repercussions of crashing out of this competition will also be severe, especially considering the club's delicate economic situation. According to Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona stand to lose millions from their early exit from this UEFA Champions League, so much so that even winning the Europa League might not help the club a great deal. As per the report, Barca have earned around 67.18 million euros from their participation in the Champions League this term alone. Barcelona were handed a sum of 34.11 million euros thanks to their historical ranking in Europe, while another 15.64 million euros ended up in their coffers as entry bonus into the group stages. Apart from that, Barcelona earned 2.7 million euros for a win and 0.93 million euros for a draw so far. On top of that, Barcelona also received around 13.8 million euros thanks to the provisional market pool, taking the total earnings up to 67.18 million euros. Another 2.7 million euros could be added if they beat Victoria Pleasant next week, and they could also receive 0.5 million euros depending on Real Madrid's progress thanks to the market pool rule. However, the Blaugrana had budgeted for at least a quarter-final run in the competition this season. Crashing out of the first round itself means that they will miss out on the 9.6 million euro prize money for qualifying for the round of 16 and another 10.6 million euros that they could have earned if they met their quarter-final target, meaning a 20.2 million euro loss. At the same time, the earnings from ticket sales for those matches against potentially big-name opponents, as well as income from any possible wins, are also lost. The report sums up this loss to around 30 million euros in total. Going into the Europa League, the prize money allocations will be much lesser than the Premier European competition. Barca will receive just 500,000 euros for their entry into the playoff round, while progressing to the round of 16 will see them pocket just 1.2 million euros. A quarter-final run where they crashed out last season would fetch them an additional 1.8 million euros, totaling up to 3.5 million euros, less than half of what they would have earned by progressing to the Champions League round of 16. So should they win the Europa League, Barcelona could earn a total of 14.9 million euros in prize money, while the additional 4 home matches will help generate income from ticket sales, which could, or which would to an extent, make up for the losses. But nevertheless, the situation is far from ideal for Barcelona, especially given how they stretched themselves in the summer market. What a disappointment it was yesterday for us after being trashed once again by Bayern Munich, and elimination from Champions League definitely means you must make serious losses. Barca did budget quarterfinals because Laporta and his board knew, they saw the team, they saw the efforts they put to buy those top class players, that is a squad that at least should take you to a quarterfinals. And I think that the board were right. They were right to budget up to quarterfinals because we have the team to do so. And you can't also underestimate the kind of optimism that we the fans had, heading into this season, having a great preseason, and the players are top class. So for whatever reason, we all knew that we must at least reach quarterfinals. So that was the budget, that was the target, and you can see the losses now that the board are expected to suffer. So that might amount up to 30 million from this report. 30 million losses is so huge. Even if we win the Europa League, we will not even make up to half of that. So you can see how valuable Champions League football is compared to the Europa League. It's totally different. The gap is really wide. So we just have to accept the loss and move on. Just see how we can compete in the Europa League. By the way, Europa League will have some very testy opponents, by the way. We have Atletico Madrid, who are also heading to the Europa League. Yesterday, they did head to the Europa League. We have teams, Arsenal is there, Man United is there. We're going to meet some top dogs. Ajax too is heading to the Europa League. So it's going to be interesting. Then, moving on to the next story of discussion. More than a year into his stint at Barca, Memphis Depay has failed to find his bearings at the club. The 28-year-old arrived as a free agent last year and was tipped to, of course, take over as the main forward of the team following Lionel Messi's shock exit. His form at Olympique Lyon and for the Netherlands national team provided optimism that he can be a difference maker. And while Depay started the season well for Barca, injuries, change for managers and the arrival of new forwards meant that he never truly flourished. Things have only gotten worse for the Netherlands ace this season, as he is no longer a major part of Xavi's plans. Indeed, the Blaugrana had made attempts to sell Depay in the summer, and a move to Juventus looked on the cards. However, the Bianconeri backed out of the deal, and the subsequent exit of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Barcelona meant that Depay stayed put at Spotify Camp Nou. But game time has been hard to come by for the Dutchman, with an injury during the international break only making things worse. Now, Sport is reporting that Barcelona are considering sanctioning an exit for Depay after the FIFA World Cup. The 28-year-old's current contract with the club expires at the end of the season. There have been talks about a potential renewal at one point, but it always seems a distant probability, with the forward expected to leave at the end of the season. But the need to free space on the salary bill ahead of possible signings in January has meant that Barca are trying to accelerate plans to part ways with him soon after the World Cup. The club believes that Depay could find exciting opportunities in January as he could be the leading striker for the Netherlands national team in the World Cup, while they can save half of his yearly salary as well. The ex-Man United forward played just 3 times before his injury this season, and there's a possibility that he could be out of Barca in a couple of months. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.